I'd like to welcome in Executive Director of Unleash Prosperity, Tim Dozier, and Senior Research Fellow of American Institute for Economic Research, Paul Mueller. Greetings, gents.
Hey, John.
Thanks.
You got it. So before today's meeting, earlier this week, the president announced an historic deal between the U.S. and UK. Here's a clip from the Oval Office on Thursday with Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick.
It's just been a deal that we thought, very complicated. It became very simple. It's opening up the country that we really didn't have the kind of access to that I would have thought. I was surprised. I think it's why the deal never got done before. It was, they've been working on this deal for 25 years.
I have the best deal maker to my left, and if you don't think that we take advantage of him calling the prime minister and getting that deal done, you don't understand who's the president of the United States. So he's the closer. He gets deals done that we could never get done.
So, Paul, what's your interpretation of this deal? Does it actually set, let's say, a framework to get other deals done?
Well, it does. I think that it brings down the tariff rates from the UK on the US a little bit. I mean, most people don't realize that UK didn't have that high of tariffs on US goods on the whole to begin with, but they do come down some. And then there's some different carve outs for agricultural industries, steel and aluminum. Allowing that into the US is a good move. And we'll kind of see. So the US tariff rate at the end of all this, the overall rate is going to be higher on the UK than it was a year ago. And so we're going to kind of see how that shakes out. But I think this is what President Trump wants to do. He wants to start with that 10% baseline. Then he'll give a few carve outs to get more concessions. He ramped up tariff rates so high that the 10% looks really good to other countries. So from a negotiating standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. Now, whether it makes sense for Americans to be paying 10% on a lot of goods from these countries is a slightly different story.
Well, Tim, we're running out of time, unfortunately. So I want to get your opinion on China. What's the big hurdle here, and what do you think the outcome will be?
Well, look, China showed up, and there was a lot of speculation as to whether they would even show up. They said, you got to lower them first before we're going to show up. And guess what? They're there. And John, as we've talked about so many times, we know what's actually happening through the Chinese Communist Party to the people in China. The economy is not growing as fast as they need it to be growing. The population is stalled out. You've got consumer spending is way down. Real estate's a mess. Everything there shows that they need a deal with the United States way more than we really need a deal with them. Think about this, John. When Trump took office in 2017, 25% of our imports came in from China. Now about 11 to 13% coming from China. So You tell me who wants a deal in this and who needs who more.
Exactly. Well, as my father always said, talk is cheap. All you have to do is sign on the dotted line. Tim Dozier, Paul Mueller, thanks so much for being here today.